Back here tomorrow. Thank you for making this show possible.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9862. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9862. That's 800-575-9862. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wednesday nights at 7. Get non-politically correct with Andrew Dodd and Lee Thompson. NPC on News Radio KYRO. Depend on it.
This moment of calm is brought to you by American National. Because life on the farm is stressful and insurance shouldn't be. American National. Relax. We're here. American National Property and Casualty Company and Affiliates, Springfield, Missouri.
News Radio KYRO traffic. Well, it's surprisingly pretty light this afternoon on a lot of the roadways. A little sluggish through St. Peter's on the westbound side of I-70, approaching Highway 79. Otherwise, you're up to speed and wide open after that toward Wentzville, around toward Highway 61. Now, 61 north is incident-free off of I-70. That runs well in toward Moscow Mills, and no major issues in toward Troy. That's moving pretty well at this point around toward Highway 47. That's the latest News Radio KYRO traffic. I'm Rick Dixon.
Live from the Gateway Fiber Studios. Online at gatewayfiber.com. News Radio 105.3 1280 KYRO Troy. It's 5 o'clock in the Heartland.
Fox News, I'm Tom Graham. The Justice Department is suing Visa for alleged antitrust violations. Fox's Kristen Goodwin.
Attorney General Merrick Garland accusing Visa of illegally blocking competition for debit card services.
We allege that to maintain this monopoly power, Visa deploys a web of unlawful anti-competitive agreements.
Accusing the company of entering contracts to discourage potential rivals from competing.
Visa's general counsel argues customers choose the company because of what she calls the reliable network. Florida taking precautions as a tropical storm appears to be strengthening as it barrels their way.
Here along the barrier islands of Franklin County, Florida, a mandatory evacuation was issued at noon today, all ahead of what's expected to be a major hurricane. Hurricane Helene forecast to make landfall later on Thursday in the Big Bend.
Fox's Mike Seidel. America's listening to Fox News.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013, 800-444-2013, or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-2013.
Hey everybody, this is Sarge.
And this is the Burgundy.
You're on Newswatch Late Edition on News Radio KYRO.
Stay tuned. Coming up at 18 after, we'll be back with all of East Central Missouri's news of the day on Newswatch Late Edition.
Missouri Net News, I'm Dale Forbes. The deadline to apply for a U.S. Department of Education program that helps borrowers get their federal student loans out of default and into good standing is September 30th. Nearly 130,000 Missourians are in default on their federal student loans. The program is called Fresh Start. It protects borrowers from creditors and wage garnishment, but those protections disappear as of the end of this month. More than 7 million people with loans were in default before the COVID-19 pandemic pause. A report on Missouri's hospital workforce shows mixed results due to turnover rates being lower in 2023 than they were before, but still higher than they were before the COVID-19 pandemic. The report includes data from 128 hospitals, and it found slightly negative trends among 32 hospital-based positions, despite turnover and vacancy beginning to slow. According to Jill Williams with the Missouri Hospital Association, the pandemic had a multifaceted impact on Missouri's workforce numbers.
A lot of that stemming from the increased workload and stress. So our healthcare workers were experiencing working extended shifts, high stress environments. This really created burnout and exhaustion. We also had accelerated retirements during that time. So a lot of healthcare workers that maybe weren't going to retire for another 4 to 5 years went ahead and retired.
Williams says that new and existing programs are the key to creating opportunities to help grow the workforce. She also calls on continued investment from policymakers and stakeholders to make that possible. One lane in each direction of Highway 63 in mid-Missouri's Columbia will close overnight next week. One lane will remain open, but the northbound and southbound passing lanes between Conley Road and Broadway will be closed from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. on Monday, September 30th through Saturday, October 5th. This work is part of the overall redesign for the I-70 Highway 63 interchange. This is Missouri Net.
Hey man, stop flipping the channels. Sorry, I've never seen so many stations. Hello? How's the ride? Oh, it's sweet. I got all the bells and whistles. Satellite radio.
Hey, I was listening to
navigation system.
Yo, you just missed the stop sign.
Hold on, I just got a text. I'll put you on speaker. 2 DVD players. Wait, hey man, how do you spell?
Near train tracks, stay focused, stay alive. Brought to you by Operation Lifesaver. www.oli.org.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
13 years ago, Blair Shanahan Lane was killed in Kansas City after a bullet hit the 11-year-old. Blair's Law has officially become law in Missouri. Parkville Republican Senator Tony Luetkemeier's bill creates a criminal offense for firing gunshots in the air to celebrate when they injure or kill someone.
And what we found is that there's a gap in the law. Because you weren't intending to kill anybody, you can't be charged with a homicide offense. And so this is designed to give prosecutors and law enforcement more tools to hold these individuals accountable who engage in this very dangerous behavior.
Another provision in the bill created a felony offense when a person knows law enforcement is chasing them and they flee in a vehicle at high speed. Well, Brooke Shields will be speaking tonight in Southwest Missouri's Springfield. The actress, model, author, and advocate will appear as part of Missouri State University's Public Affairs Conference. Shields will deliver the keynote address at 7 p.m. at the Juanita K. Hammonds Hall. It's free and open to the public. This is Missouri Net.
The Wrecking Crew. What do you guys do here?
We recycle. Our typical business is picking up stuff that nobody else can get.
People may have a lot of money laying in their property and they just don't realize it.
They do. A lot of money sometimes. And not where you would think it would be.
Where are you located?
Troy, Winfield, Vandalia, Missouri. And we do boxes, trailers. We cut stuff up on site. We do insurance work. Farmers, if you have a burnt building or wind damaged building or grain bin, that's our specialty.
How do they get a hold of you?
Call me personally or call the office.
The Wrecking Crew. 636-462-1727.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks finishing higher with both the Dow and S&P 500 posting new record closes as investors shrugged off weak consumer confidence data and focused on China's announcement of a sweeping stimulus package which lifted the price for oil, copper, and other commodities. The conference board revealed an unexpected decline in consumer confidence in September, driven by growing concerns about the labor market's health. The Dow rising 84 points, the Nasdaq up 100, S&P 500 higher by by 14. And shares of NVIDIA jumped 4%. Its CEO Jensen Huang just wrapped up the sale of 6 million shares of the chipmaker, completing a trading plan and grossing more than $700 million. Shares of Liberty Broadband surged 28%. A long-awaited proposal by Charter Communications to buy Liberty gave a boost to its stock as investors are betting that the two companies can strike a deal. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-2013.
You know, a lot of people have boats, RVs, horse trailers, all kinds of things. Have you ever thought about insuring them? Well, if you haven't, then you should. Safe Harbor Insurance. Over in Winfield, look them up on Facebook at Safe Harbor Insurance or give them a call at 668-6296. They're brokers, so they can save you money, protect your boat, RV, whatever it is you have. Safe Harbor Insurance. Give them a call at 636-668-6296 and see how much money Dave and Holly can save you.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Dan Byer.
Derek Skubal went 7 innings, struck out 7, and got his 18th win of the season for the Tigers today as they dropped the Rays by a score of 2-1. Detroit right now extended their lead over the Twins as the Twins are on the outside looking in at the American League wild card. Tigers up a game and a half. And with the win today, at this point, Tigers moved a half game up on the Royals for the second wild card in the American League. In the NFL, Chiefs have signed running back Kareem Hunt to their 53-man roster, while Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin says right now, no need to name Justin Fields as their number one quarterback as Russell Wilson continues to deal with his calf strain. Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre revealed in front of Congress today he's been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Favre was testifying as part of the investigation into whether he and others misdirected taxpayer money designated for welfare recipients in the state of Mississippi. Panthers wide receiver Adam Thielen on IR with a hamstring injury.
It's 5:10 in East Central Missouri, and you're on the Newswatch PM edition. Traffic and weather together on the 10s starts right now.
East Central Missouri's News Radio KYRO. Depend on it.
News Radio KYRO traffic. You'll be prepared for a brief but heavy backup in toward Lake St. Louis. On the westbound side is 64 at 364. Now there are delays in towards St. Peter's on westbound I-70, approaching Highway 79, then again toward Wentzville, approaching I-64. And a little sluggish on southbound 61 approaching I-70. The northbound side is 61 that's up to speed from I-70. Not too bad as you work way toward Troy. That's into the free around toward Highway 47. That's the latest News Radio KYRO traffic. I'm Rick Dixon.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center. Online at MeyerListings.com. Overcast clouds in Troy. Getting down to 58 overnight tonight. Wednesday's high will be in the upper 70s. Sky is clear likely. Temperatures in the upper 70s forecast on Thursday. Currently in Troy it's 71. In Wentzville it's 71 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground? Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Go for your future today. The Pike Lincoln Technical Center. Adult education classes forming now. Find out more on Facebook, Twitter, or online at pltc.k12.mo.us or call 573-485-2900. Go for your future at the Pike Lincoln Technical Center.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for road trips. We're for covering as much ground as possible on 2, 4, or 18 wheels. We're for drop tops, T-tops, classics, cruisers, pickup trucks, and dump trucks. We're for displaying Missouri plates like medals, pride. Have you ever hit a deer? Yep, we're for you too. We're for getting stuck behind a tractor on a 2-lane highway. And if you're a Missouri driver, we have an auto policy for you.
Call Sandy Turner at 107B North Lincoln Drive in Troy, 636-528-8443. The very latest ag news from the Brownfield Network, brought to you this hour by The Wrecking Crew in Troy, Winfield, and Vandalia. Call 636-462-1727.
Tuesday, soybeans were up, corn was down, cattle and hogs finished mostly higher. I'm John Perkins with the Brownfield Market Update. Speed wins. That's why Stein is focused on delivering higher yielding genetics faster than the competition and why they release more new Enlist E3 lines than any other company. Stein has yield. Soybeans did end the session modestly higher, well below the session highs, but above the day's lows. More rain-related harvest delays are likely over the next few days in some key U.S. growing areas. There was also spillover from soybean oil, which was up on the strength in palm and crude oils. November beans were 3 higher at 10.42 and a quarter. January was up 3 3/4 at 10.60 and a half. October bean meal was down 2.90 at 323.60. October soybean oil was up 133 at 43.95. Corn saw some profit taking, continuing to watch harvest activity and the delays in parts of the Midwest and Plains, which could impact crop quality. Planting weather continues to be mixed in Argentina and Brazil. December corn was 1 3/4 lower at 4.11 3/4. March was down a penny at 4.30 3/4. And wheat was lower on fund and technical selling. Rain has delayed winter wheat planting, but the precipitation is mostly welcome ahead of the crop moving into dormancy. While export demand has improved, the trade's wary about pricing wheat above demand. December Chicago was down 4.5 at 5.78. December Kansas City was 6 1/4 lower at 5.71. December Minneapolis was 7 1/4 lower at 6.11 3/4. Live cattle were mostly higher and feeders were up ahead of this week's widespread direct cash cattle business. Box beef was higher at midday. October live, the exception, was down 5 at 183.20. December was up 57 at 184.40. With that lower move in corn, October feeders were up $1.32 at 245.80. And on spread trade in the firm midday move in pork, October hogs were down 17 at 82.12. December was up a dime at 74.97. We'll have your full look at cash livestock after this.
Do you have a black vulture issue on your farm? Apply for a depredation permit through the Missouri Farm Bureau today. It's free, quick, and easy. Simply call Missouri Farm Bureau at 573-893-1417 or send an email to blackvultures@mofb.org. That's blackvultures@mofb.org. Farm Bureau will send you a permit application to fill in and sign, and you'll be able to reduce black vulture threats in no time. For more information, visit agriculture.mo.gov.
Boss Performance Diesel keeps engines clean, improves performance, and helps machines run more efficiently. Because when machines are more efficient, they get more work done. And when more work gets done, you make more money. And when you make more money, you buy something totally ridiculous. Like a solid gold hot tub filled with sparkling Italian water. So many bubbles. Fuel up with Boss Diesel from MFA Oil at a location near you or have it delivered to your farm or business. Learn more at bossperformancediesel.com.
Afternoon, direct cash cattle markets remained at a standstill with no bids or asking prices being reported. It looks like widespread direct trade's going to wait until at least Wednesday. Box beef was mixed with decent movement. Choice was up 8 cents at 301.89. Select beef was down 92 at 286.87. The estimated cattle slaughter of 125,000 head was steady on the week and down just over 3,000 on the year. The major direct hog markets closed higher with strong negotiated movement as buyers were in need of some near-term supplies. National direct trade was up $1.53 with a weighted average of 76.47. The Iowa, Southern Minnesota, and Western Corn Belt direct markets were both 52 cents higher with weighted averages of 76.41. Midwest butcher hog markets were steady at 60. The close for the pork carcass cutout value was delayed by packer submission problems. Pork was up 47 cents at midday on Tuesday at 94.61. The estimated hog slaughter of 487,000 head was up 13,000 on the week, but down about 3,000 on the year. John Perkins, Brownfield.
Mahomes in the pocket, throws it left, caught Juju Smith-Schuster, angling left, fire, diving, touchdown! Kansas City, welcome back to the Chiefs' kingdom and the end zone, Juju Smith-Schuster.
This Sunday, the Chiefs open division play against the LA Chargers at SoFi Stadium. Pre-game starts at 2 on your home for Kansas City Chiefs football.
East Central Missouri's News Radio KYRO. Depend on it.
Mountain Dew Zero Sugar asks, ever wonder what it would be like to live in an alternate universe? One where everything seems to work just the opposite of the way you'd expect? Well, friends, welcome to the alternate universe of Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. The taste is nothing less than outrageously delicious. And Mountain Dew Zero Sugar comes in awesomely exhilarating flavors, like Original Dew Zero Sugar, Mountain Dew Spark Zero Sugar, and Mountain Dew Major Melon Zero Sugar. Try the incredible flavors of Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Zero Sugar, all dew.
Trust the professionals at Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Buying or selling, they'll make your dreams come true. Here's commercial property and development expert Rick Meyer.
Lincoln County has seen tremendous growth, and especially in residential, but along with that brings commercial development opportunities. Meyer & Company Real Estate's really tried to focus, and a lot of my direct focus has been on how can we bring good growth to our area, bring the services that we need. I think there has been a lot of interest by commercial developers to come and bring projects to, and we're right in the middle of it. There is a lot of interest in multifamily apartments or villas. Bottom line, not everybody can afford to buy a new house or find a place of their own on acreage. We really do have a need for multifamily and rental properties, whether it's a retail type operation. We're trying to attract those type businesses to the area as well.
Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, North Lincoln Drive in Troy, 636-462-5555. Online at MeyerListings.com.
Well, good afternoon. It is Newswatch Late Edition with Sarge and Burgundy. Burgundy is out with an assignment this evening, and here in just a few minutes I'll be joined here in the Gateway Fiber Studios by our KYRO news analyst, Andrew Dodd himself, and we're going to go over some news stories that have been coming out today and see what his thoughts are on those. And then here in a little while, we're going to have a fun segment that's going to pertain to popular slang terms. And that's going to be a fun one to go over. Again, a whole bunch of stuff coming out today. But here in about 30 seconds, we are going to have our first traffic and weather update here at 5:20. And then hopefully when we get back, Andrew will be here. And as I said, we'll go over some stuff and pick his brain and see what he knows and see what he thinks. So we are going to go to a traffic and weather update. And from what I am seeing, it is 72 both in Troy and in Winfield. And it's cloudy right now. Looks like it could open up and do anything at any minute. But here is your updates for right now.
News Radio KYRO traffic. You'll be prepared for a brief but heavy backup in toward Lake St. Louis on the westbound side of 64 at 364. Now there are delays in towards St. Peter's on westbound I-70, approaching Highway 79, then again toward Wentzville, approaching I-64. And a little sluggish on southbound 61, approaching I-70. The northbound side is 61, that's up the speed from I-70. Not too bad as you work way toward Troy, that's incident-free around toward Highway 47. That's the latest News Radio KYRO traffic. I'm Rick Dixon.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Overcast clouds in Troy, getting down to 58 overnight tonight. Wednesday's high will be in the upper 70s. Sky is clear likely. Temperatures in the upper 70s forecast on Thursday. Currently in Troy it's 71. In Wentzville it's 71 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
The question of natural disasters isn't a matter of if, but a matter of when. You see, we live in Missouri and the weather is always changing. We have major ice storms, tornadoes, hail, we have all kinds of things. And it's important to make sure that your home, auto, business, whatever it is that you have is properly insured to protect you from natural disasters. Go and talk to my friends Dave and Holly over at Safe Harbor Insurance. Do what I did and save hundreds of dollars. Give them a call at 636-668-6296 or find them on Facebook.
and welcome back to Newswatch Late Edition with Sarge and Burgundy. And as I said a little bit ago, Burgundy is out on assignment this evening, and joining me here in the new Gateway Fiber Studios here in just a few minutes, it'll be KYRO's political analyst Andrew Dodd. But until he gets here, I figured we'd let you all in on a few news stories that have broke today. Bell ringers needed for holiday season. The Salvation Army is getting ready for the holidays, and officials are hoping to recruit volunteers to help with the season of giving. The nonprofit is looking for bell ringers for its Red Kettle campaign. There are 12,000 bell ringer slots that need to be filled, and more information is posted at registertoring.com. Registertoring.com. Also, the St. Louis City Hall celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month. St. Louis continues its celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month from September the 15th through October the 15th. The Hispanic community celebrates its independence for countries including Costa Rica, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Honduras, and Guatemala. A Hispanic Heritage celebration is being held this evening at St. Louis City Hall from 6 to 8 p.m. The Magic House is opening an exhibit about Argentina on Saturday, and the Art Museum is hosting a Heritage Month celebration on October 6th. And the St. Louis County Libraries have events planned including craft and food demonstrations, film screenings, and scavenger hunts. So that should be a lot of fun. Earlier today, a man was sentenced to 12 years in prison for fatal shooting. A St. Louis man will spend more than a decade in prison for a fatal shooting over a drug deal. 42-year-old Terrell McDaniel was sentenced to 12 years behind bars yesterday for the death of Andre Nash in 2022. Nash was reportedly looking for McDaniel because he shorted him on a fentanyl purchase and was shot and killed when he found him. McDaniel pleaded guilty to charges stemming from the shooting last year. And then also, I know this is something that Dodd absolutely loves because he is joining me right now in the new Gateway Fiber Studios, and it's awesome. There we go. You're on now. And it's awesome to see you. Thank you for coming in as always. Hearings underway for gender-affirming care lawsuit.
Oh, please. Tell me how the taxpayers are going to get stuck paying for this.
Yeah. A trial is underway in a lawsuit seeking to protect gender-affirming health care rights for LGBTQ youth in Missouri. Say that 5 times fast. KCTV reports that hearings started yesterday. A medical expert testified yesterday and explained gender dysphoria. The lawsuit is seeking to overturn a Missouri law that blocks minors from access to puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones.
As well it should.
For those that don't understand or know, what exactly is gender dysphoria?
So basically right now we have this problem in the U.S. where the popular thing to be is transgender. Because it's popular now to be a victim and a loser. That's what we encourage people to be. So what we've got going on right now is you have a large amount of people that are affirming this gender dysphoria, and by that meaning little Timmy has been convinced he is Sally. Hardcore. Now, realistically, at a point in our time, we would just beat the hell out of Timmy until he figured it out, and then he was fine. But now we're going to try to affirm him by giving him hormone blockers and things of this nature. You want to know how you make school shooters and psychopaths? There it is. Show me one of the last 5 that hasn't had this kind of care provided.
Well,
because it's not care. And here's the thing. There's a statistic out there, and people try to pretend like it doesn't exist, but it is a real statistic. 90% of people that, man, once I get all this gender-affirming care and I get fully switched over to being whatever I actually am, everything's going to be better. They still kill themselves 90% of the time.
It's sad. It's a sad situation.
It's a sad situation. Anybody allows it to happen.
True.
I mean, that's it.
So, and I think I know what your answer is going to be, but I kind of want to hear your answer, though. Where do you think all of this is actually truly coming from?
Well, to be honest, this whole thing has been an ongoing media ploy now for a long time, pushed by the hardcore extremist left. Because the idea is if you can sit there and you can, and start it out in the 2000s, the push was, hey, let's convince everybody that they're homosexual. Well, guess what? That can be big deal. Okay, you are one day, and then one day you're like, yeah, I'm not into that. That's not really my thing.
Yeah.
But this is a much more permanent type thing, and there is actually a great series on Fox right now. It's on the Fox Nation.
Fox Nation?
Yeah, it's on Fox Nation right now, and it's with a person who did all of the gender reaffirming care and talks about how they were essentially talked into becoming a he/she.
Wow.
And now they greatly regret that decision, and they're out doing a tour of don't do this. No matter what you think in your head, don't do this. It's not real.
Yeah. One of the ways that people can stop all of this is by getting out and voting on these different referendums and quote-unquote amendments that are trying to be pushed for this type of stuff.
Big time.
And today, absentee voting with excuse begins today. And real quick, 50 seconds, we're going to go to traffic and weather. But registered voters with an excuse can begin voting by absentee ballot in Missouri. This is for November's general election. Today is also the first day to request an absentee ballot by mail in Missouri. No excuse absentee balloting begins October 22nd in the Show Me State. Early voting in Illinois begins on Thursday, and no excuse is required. Make sure to bring identification to any polling location that you go to, because right now you got to have ID.
Yeah, so that's what
traffic and weather right now. We'll be right back.
Cool.
News Radio KYRO traffic will be prepared for a brief but heavy backup in toward Lake St. Louis on the westbound side of 64 at 364. Now there are delays in towards St. Peter's on westbound I-70, approaching Highway 79, then again toward Wentzville, approaching I-64. And a little sluggish on southbound 61, approaching I-70. The northbound side is 61, that's up to speed from I-70. Not too bad as you work way toward Troy, that's incident-free around toward Highway 47. That's the latest News Radio KYRO traffic. I'm Rick Dixon.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Overcast clouds in Troy, getting down to 58 overnight tonight. Wednesday's high will be in the upper 70s. Sky is clear likely. Temperatures in the upper 70s forecast on Thursday. Currently in Troy it's 69. In Wentzville it's 70 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
News. I'm John Saucier. President Biden addressing the UN General Assembly today for the final time as president, drawing attention to the severe risk of synthetic opioids. The president warned about the intense danger these drugs pose.
Opioids are the deadliest drug threat in our history. I've been working on drug control for a long, long time, since the days I was a senator. But this is the deadliest of them all.
Former President Donald Trump busy campaigning in the swing state of Georgia today, discussing his tax plans as well as putting a focus on American manufacturing.
This new American industrialism will create millions and millions of jobs, massively raise wages for American workers, and make the United States into a manufacturing powerhouse like it used to be many years ago.
Vice President Kamala Harris expected to campaign in Pennsylvania for tomorrow. America's listening to Fox News.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-2013.
People's Bank and Trust is helping you get a grip on your finances with our new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills all from the palm of your hand. Visit us online at pbtc.net for more information and to start using mobile banking. People's Bank and Trust, hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Well, welcome back to Newswatch Late Edition with Sarge and Burgundy. And Burgundy is out on assignment, but in his place today, the one and only, our very own political analyst here in the Gateway Fiber studio, Andrew Dodd. And again, thank you so much for coming in and joining me.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Something else that's come out into the news today. $450,000 grant to assist with housing homeless. St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones says a $450,000 grant will help unhoused residents find work and get back on their feet. The grant from the Agency on Training and Employment has been awarded to St. Peter and Paul Community Services through the American Rescue Plan Act. Now, the mayor says the funding it's supposed to help thousands of people gain access to employment and permanent housing. Employment will include working on public projects and on the maintenance of public grounds. Now, my question is, number one, is this really going to help the homeless of St. Louis, or are we talking about immigrants coming up here?
You know, and because I've got a split note on it. If it is a legitimate thing where you can take a homeless dude, giving him a place to live, and then get him a job from the city that the city doesn't have to essentially pay for, okay, cool. That's
I have no
fine.
problem with that.
But I would question if that's what it is, knowing the leftist tendencies of St. Louis. It's definitely one that would certainly have to be dug into a little to find out.
For sure. And when I was reading this earlier, that was my first thought was, is this really going for our own homeless and all? Or is it really going for something and someone else? And I'm hoping, like you, I'm hoping that it's the latter, not the former, because it's crazy. It's crazy today with all the homeless that we've got all over the place. And something else that popped up that struck me.
Oh.
Audit of Washington County collector finds money missing.
No.
The Missouri State Auditor says over $107,000 has been found missing from property sales in Washington County. The audit released this month allegedly found that former county collector Carla Zettler made improper payments to office staff and her daughter-in-law, who was a county trustee. Zettler is also accused of moving money into her personal bank account, giving out improper bonuses, and poor record keeping. Zettler faces criminal charges. The Washington County Collector's Office earned the worst rating from the audit, which is poor. I wonder why.
Well, here's your sign, kids. You know, the funny part is she probably could have explained away all of that right up until she put it in her own account.
Yeah.
Because all the other stuff, you could just go, well, you're an idiot. Well, you're an idiot. Oh, no, you're not an idiot.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Isn't it? I mean,
I love it.
Some crooked people everywhere we've got, apparently. Clemency denied for death row inmate. Clemency is denied for Marcellus Williams. Governor Mike Parson announced late yesterday, that the state will move forward with Williams' execution that is slated for later today, this evening. KCTV reports that Williams will be executed at the Eastern Reception Diagnostic and Correctional Center in Bonne Terre for the 1998 murder of Felicia Gale in St. Louis County. And I was reading a little bit more into this one. Now, they've been fighting back and forth over the last month or so. And there was a plea deal that he had sent in, an Alford plea deal, that was actually accepted by the courts and then fought by oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought. The state attorney general.
Okay.
And he actually won that one, but I was a little surprised that they haven't put in anything else since then, since yesterday, actually.
Yes.
So it looks like this execution is going to go on later on today.
Interesting. I'm not really surprised. Honestly, I'm not surprised. I think this one has become more of a media frenzy than anything else. Parsons isn't my favorite governor, but he did spend a lot of time being very good at his job prior to being the governor. And if there was solid stuff, either him or the Missouri Attorney General would put a hold on that execution. And that's really how I feel about it.
Yeah?
Yeah, because both of them have not proven themselves to be bad at their jobs. So I feel like that is one that is more of a media frenzy than anything else, which often happens in high-profile cases.
Interesting. Well, here in about 20 seconds, we're going to have another traffic and weather update.
No way.
But when we come back for the rest of the show, I think we can make it through. We're going to go over popular slang terms that have derived from TV and film and is still in our lexicon today.
Oh.
News Radio KYRO traffic. You'll be prepared for a brief but heavy backup in toward Lake St. Louis on the westbound side of 64 at 364. Now there are delays in towards St. Peter's on westbound I-70, approaching Highway 79, then again toward Wentzville, approaching I-64. And a little sluggish on southbound 61.
In the upper 70s forecast on Thursday. Currently in Troy, it's 69. In Wentzville, it's 70 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate, or farm ground? Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the Missouri way of life. We're for worrying less about the what-ifs and more about the why-nots. We're for checking off your bucket list and then making a new one. For starting a family, a business, a tradition. And if you find yourself starting over, we're here for that too. We're for building a life in Missouri and then going out and living it. And when it comes to making sure everything you've built is protected, we're for you.
Call Sandy Turner at 107B North Lincoln Drive in Troy, 636-528-8443.
Just like a dream, we're back.
Yeah, Newswatch, late edition, back with Sarge and Burgundy. But of course, Burgundy is out on assignment, and in his place this evening, we have got the one and only Andrew Dodd. And again, thank you so much. And you were just peeking over at Fox Weather. What was you saying?
Yeah, I've been looking at Fox Weather. You know, you've got this Hurricane Helene, or whatever we're calling it, thing. So in the current trajectory path that it's going, after it gets done hitting the coast, it's going straight up the Mississippi. They had different cities listed for how much rain it could get off of it. It was showing something like 7 inches in Birmingham, Alabama, 6 inches in Nashville, Tennessee, and St. Louis was showing 4.5.
Wow, that's a lot.
And those would be heavy downpours, so you be sure to keep an eye on that one. I have not seen when it's actually supposed to hit because it still has not made landfall yet. It is just hanging out in the Gulf.
And it has it's like, it looks like the track. It looks like it's going to go up between the Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba, and it's almost right there right now.
Yeah.
So, but looking at the weather report or weather forecast, I should say, on the computer here, it looks like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we are supposed to have rain, and I don't think that that's actually part of that coming up.
Correct.
I think that's going to be later on next week, actually.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for all the rain that's going to hit. That's for sure. All right. So when it comes to popular slang terms, there's no denying that TV and film phrases are baked into our culture.
All right.
Our habit of incorporating fictional terms into real life can be traced back decades.
Transgenderism.
I knew you were going to say that for some reason. Take the term gaslighting, for example, and we'll get into that one in a little bit more depth here in just a few moments. But, for example, that originated in Patrick Hamilton's 1938 play Gaslight.
Yes, which featured the chick from Casablanca and someone else. I can't remember who's in that film. It's a black and white film. Very strange. Has nothing to do with the term used today.
Well, it also spawned that 1940 film by Thurl Dickinson and a 1944 film, but I think that you're
Ingrid Bergman.
referencing,
Yes.
by George Cukor. Now, some Hollywood-spawned terms have become so ubiquitous, you might not even realize they were born in writers' rooms like regift or friend zone. And friend zone, I know, actually came from an episode of Friends when Jennifer Aniston's character put her on-again, off-again boyfriend in the friend zone. So more recently, quotes from older movies and shows have received a boost in popularity after going viral as TikTok sounds. Look no further than the "excuse me, bruh" moment from Zoolander, or the "don't be suspicious" scene from Parks and Recreation.
Oh, yes.
But when it comes to pop culture slang, what are some of the most enduring terms? Now, going over this article, there were 30 of them that they were highlighting, but I have gone through and picked 6 of them for us to talk about.
Excellent.
And the first one we mentioned a little bit ago, excuse me, gaslight. Now, gaslighting can be traced back to George Cukor's 1944 film Gaslight, in which a young woman's husband orchestrates strange behaviors around their home, such as knocking on walls and dimming the gas lights to convince his wife and their acquaintances that she's losing grip on reality.
Yes.
Now, the film was based on that 1938 play called Gaslight. And these days, it's recognized as a form of psychological manipulation in which an abuser tries to create self-doubt and confusion in their victims' minds. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Interesting.
Now, here's a word. Here's a word that I'm going to have you try and guess real quick where it comes from. And that word is Nimrod. The word Nimrod.
Is that dude, where's my car? Or it's one of the, I don't know. Go for it.
The term Nimrod is typically used to describe a person who is inept. Although the phrase was first uttered by the cartoon character Daffy Duck.
What?
In a 1948 cartoon while speaking to Elmer Fudd. It's also associated with Bugs Bunny, who used the word to insult Yosemite Sam in 1951's Rabbit Every Morning.
That's awesome.
Nimrod. I love it.
I had no idea. I thought it was way not that old.
Exactly. Here's another one I'm going to have you try and guess real quick.
Yeah, sure, bring it.
Cowabunga. The word cowabunga.
I believe that goes back to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon from the early 80s.
Very interesting that you would say that. The catchphrase "cowabunga" is often associated with the rambunctious teens at the center of the long-running TV show Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who used it to express their enthusiasm for a whole range of wacky scenarios.
Okay.
But
oh no.
TV writer and composer Edward Keane actually coined cowabunga while working on the children's series Howdy Doody in 1949.
Seriously?
The character Chief Thunder Thud, again, the character
Okay, I
Chief
can see where this is going.
Thud
I love it.
used the phrase as a greeting. How interesting is that?
I'm going to start using it as a greeting. Cowabunga. That's a great. Thank you, Sarge. I'm going to make this happen.
I thought you would like that.
Oh, I do like this one. This is fantastic.
Now, here's another one.
Yeah.
I think you're going to grab this one.
No.
This one's an easy one. Very easy. Mind meld.
That's Star Trek, 100%.
Exactly, and that's of course from Star Trek, from an episode where Leonard Nimoy mind melded
with
Captain Kirk.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
All right, well, now we've got a minute before we go to traffic and weather, but I do want to let you know that when we come back, we've got 3 more that we're going to talk about, and see if you can, figure out where they came from, and then we'll give the right answers.
Oh, I like this plan. This is fun. This is fun. I like this.
I saw this earlier today, and I thought of you right away, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, this is gonna be cool.
Yeah, this is very cool.
30 seconds. What other words can you think of real quick that you know that comes from movies?
Danger zone.
Danger zone.
No, I said it on the air yesterday when you were talking about this. People use the term all the time. They're like, well, that's kind of in the danger zone. That is a Top Gun reference 100,000%.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to go to traffic and weather real quick, and then when we come back, we'll finish up these popular slang terms.
Perfect.
News Radio KYRO traffic. You'll be prepared for a brief but heavy backup in toward Lake St. Louis on the westbound side of 64 at 364. Now there are delays in towards St. Peter's on westbound I-70, approaching Highway 79, then again toward Wentzville, approaching I-64. And a little sluggish on southbound 61, approaching I-70. The northbound side is 61, that's up to speed from I-70. Not too bad as you work way toward Troy, that's incident-free around toward Highway 47. That's the latest News Radio KYRO traffic. I'm Rick Dixon.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Overcast clouds in Troy, getting down to 58 overnight tonight. Wednesday's high will be in the upper 70s. Sky is clear likely. Temperatures in the upper 70s forecast on Thursday. Currently in Troy it's 69. In Wentzville it's 70 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
If you see a down power line, Quiver River Electric reminds you to always assume the line is energized and dangerous. Avoid going near it or anything in contact with the power line. Never drive over a down power line or through water touching the power line. If you see a down power line, notify the local authorities immediately. To learn more, call us at 1-800-392-3709 or visit safeelectric.org, a safety message from Quiver River Electric Cooperative.
Well, welcome back to Newswatch Late Edition with Sarge and Burgundy. Burgundy out on assignment this evening and in studio here in the Gateway Fiber Studios with me this afternoon, the one and only Andrew Dodd. Thank you so much again for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having me. This is fun.
Here we go. Right back into it. Popular slang terms. We got about 8 minutes left in the show. We got 3 words left.
Well, let's drop some slangs.
Now, this word, it is what you think it is, but the question is, where did it come from?
Okay.
Paparazzi. Paparazzi.
Where did it come from? I don't know, because I can remember hearing it for a very long time, but I don't know. I feel like it comes out of something having to do with the Italian aristocracy.
Okay. Paparazzi is literally the plural form of the word paparazzo. It became well known after filmmaker Federico Fellini released his classic movie La Dolce Vita in 1960, which follows a nosy photographer named Paparazzo. Now, the term paparazzi gained traction when Time magazine used it to describe pushy, celebrity-hounding photographers as a ravenous wolf pack. How about that?
I would have never guessed that in a trillion years. Not even slightly. I figured it was way older than that.
I love it. Okay, here's another one. This one's going to be... I think this one might be hard. All
right.
Ribbit. The word ribbit.
Like the sound a frog makes?
Where did it come from?
I have no earthly idea.
Well, the term ribbit is typically used to imitate the characteristic croaking sound that a frog makes, right?
Okay.
Many argue the phrase originated in a 1965 episode of Gilligan's Island, in which actor Mel Blanc voices a character called Ribbit the Frog. Now, others also claim it was first used in the 8th episode of the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour in 1967, but I mean, if it was used in 1965 on Gilligan's Island, they've got the winner.
Yes. Yep. Wow.
It's really funny. I find it funny how a lot of the words that we use today, you wouldn't even think twice, but they come from movies and from TV shows that have just gotten popular over the years. Now this one's a fun one. Give
it to me. I got one for you rolling around in my head, so give it to me.
Okay. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I would assume Mary Poppins.
Well, contrary to popular belief,
yes,
the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, try and say that one 5 times fast, existed before it was popularized in song form in the beloved 1964 Disney film, Mary Poppins. In fact, upon the movie's release, songwriters Gloria Parker and Barney Young filed a lawsuit alleging the Mary Poppins song violated the copyright of their song, and I'm going to jack this one all up, but I'm gonna take a stab at the name of this, which was published in either 1949 or 1951. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Oh, good grief!
Now, according to Merriam-Webster, the earliest variation of the nonsense word first appeared in a Syracuse Daily Orange column by Helen Herman in 1931. So that word had been somewhat been around even 30 some odd years before the movie Mary Poppins.
Wow.
How about that?
That's wild.
Never would have known that.
No. So a common term that we use all the time is to go the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody thinks it's a football term, right? Like 90% of people think it has to do with football.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. It has to do with the P-51 Mustang.
P-51 Mustang?
Yeah. 9 yards of 50 caliber ammo on its main gun. Give them the whole 9 yards. Use all your ammo. Do it.
Wow.
There's secondarily the term he's running around like balls to the wall. What's that mean? Where's
Sure.
that come from?
I've heard that term before.
Has to do with the accelerator on a P-51 Mustang. It's over on this side. In the if you could see me, it's in your left hand. You got the stick in the right hand. You grab it with the left hand for your throttle, and you push them all the way to the front wall. Your motor is at maximum,
and that's because the top of it is a ball. And
yeah,
that's
and
putting the
it
ball through the
actually
wall.
you put one hand on one ball, and there's a second ball just behind it, and it's basically the two because it's controlling the flow out of both of your tanks. Boom! You slam them both forward.
Wow. Interesting.
So there's some weird ones for you. I like the whole 9 yards myself because each gun held 9 yards of 50 caliber ammo.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
of
So when
ammo.
when they were like, no, he used the whole 9 yards, dude, he used a lot of ammo on that dive bomb.
Hey, we've got about 2 minutes left here in the show. That was fun. We got to do more of these type of segments,
That's
don't you
fun.
think?
My boy himself enjoyed that.
I thought that you would. Now, there was something else that I wanted to
Oh,
bring
yes.
up real quick.
Excellent.
And, I'm trying to find it now. And all these crazy notes that I have.
Crazy notes.
Well, maybe I won't.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll save it for another time.
Well, maybe he'll have it.
Oh, no, here we go.
What do you got? What do you got?
It. Here's one more piece of news here that I wanted you to comment real quick, and we've got about a minute and a half left.
Gladly.
Lawmakers discuss human trafficking. Lawmakers, law enforcement, and community leaders are discussing human trafficking in Missouri. Now, KCTV out of Kansas City reports that a meeting took place yesterday at the Fillmore Cafe in Lee Summit, which is just southeast of Kansas City. State Representative Joe Patterson says change on the issue begins with a conversation. Now, this is something that I found very interesting, and I did not know this.
Okay.
The Missouri State Highway Patrol says Missouri has the nation's fourth highest rate of human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
That is just crazy.
It does. And if you want to fix the human trafficking, both bringing in trafficking people and trafficking people out, that starts with sealing the U.S. border.
Well, yeah, I got to say, I'd have to agree with you.
Big time.
100%.
Big time. And it is a super problem here. We've had multiple cases of it come up in St. Charles County and everywhere else. It's a big deal.
Hey, thanks a lot again for joining me this evening, Dodd. And all of you.
Gateway Fiber Studios, online at gatewayfiber.com. News Radio 101.